The Islands of Sina Una, a D&D 5e compatible setting based on pre-colonial Filipino mythology. I am amazed of the research and hard work that went into this project. The lore is amazing, the new classes and subclasses, the artwork even captures the world in its glory. Even in the Philippines, I have not seen an adaptation of folklore such as this. But I have always wanted to run a campaign based on my country's creepy folklores, monster stories told in my childhood that scared the heck out of me. And now, I can. The world of Sina Una is very much based on ancient Filipino folklore. Most written information from pre-colonial days have long been destroyed by Spanish colonizers. But the lore still survived through the superstitious warnings and stories retold by the elders. Even now, our grandparents often warn us of trickster spirits in very old trees, or to always show courtesy when stepping on a hill mound, or risk being cursed by little creatures. But the developers of this setting has also taken creative liberties of adapting core D&D elements within the world. Races in D&D lore are still around, but are also entirely different. Dragonborns no longer manifest as the descendants of vicious red or proud gold dragons. Instead, they are now commonly albino in coloration and take the aspects of pythons and crocodiles. They are known as the Umalagad, mortals who through sheer strength of will crawled out of the underworld to live a second life. Volcano dwarves that trace their origin back to the spirits of the earth. Balete elves who come from the spirits of the balete tree. And it is not too far off, since Filipino folklore has always had elf-like creatures living in the deepest part of the forest. And we do have half-beast, half-man hybrids in old stories as well. The core aspect of this setting is the culture of animism. Once you dive into the lore of Sina Una, you will find that everything that happens is because of the intervention of spirits. Spirits in this setting is the very religion and belief of those living in the islands. The belief that every element of life, every rock, tree, creature, and even natural phenomenon is inhabited by an animating soul. It is the way of life and magic of the world. The mortal races of Sina Una understand the spirits have an impact on everyday life. They strive to live in harmony with them, bringing offerings and praise in exchange for protection and aid, while indifference or insults invite misfortune or disaster. Although many lesser spirits are only capable of whispering through the blades of grass or the grain of sand, greater spirits of the sky, sea, and dawn make up the very deities that form the islands of Sina Una. The Babaylan, a new class for this setting, are the guides who have an affinity for these spirits and are called to intercede with them on behalf of their communities, while headhunters protect the villages from very angry and dangerous spirits that roam the forests and rivers of the islands. Just as adventurers in Faerun revel in their pantheon of gods, the islanders worship in the great spirit deities who bestow divine blessings to their followers. Because the world is interconnected with the flow of spirits, and mortals living in the islands are part of that flow. Everything also has some amount of magic residing within it. Practitioners like bards and wizards have learned to sense and use this ambient power in the world around them, harnessing it for great feats. you can expect new spells to come out from this setting, one of which is a favorite of mine called the Wrath of Lalahun. By invoking the wrath of the volcano goddess, your very flesh transforms into molten rock, dealing 86 fire damage to those around 30 feet. And of course, many of these spells are far more flavored to invoking the power of the spirits. There is more to the islands of Sina Una than just a new fantasy setting. It is also a look into what the culture of Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines was like before the invasion of European colonialism. Although you won't find fire-breathing dragons in this world, you can bet that the island-sized lion that eats moons will be more of a challenge to your adventurers. Good luck, and I hope to see you in the islands of Sina Una.